Alrighty, hello guys. I have a message for the Christian single mom who is trying to build a business. Building a business as a single mom is a very difficult task, very challenging. It's not impossible, but it's truly challenging because most times we don't have anyone to lean on or anyone to look to for support. And so we support ourselves while we also support our children and those around us. And it becomes really challenging. And when we look online today, you see so many people bragging about their perfect morning routine and their evening routine and the systems that they have that help them build successful, wildly successful businesses. So assuming this is true, the temptation is that we get overwhelmed, we get into despair, discouragement, because we feel like it's not working out for us. Because no matter how much we try, it's really difficult to get the hours that we think are needed to build this business, to get them in. You do all that's within your power to go to bed on time so that you can wake up on time and get in some hours of work before life takes over. But it just never seems to work out, because the kids are there, and most of the time, as all mothers know, they are just never able to get their stuff together, to get themselves together and do what they're supposed to do. Everybody always needs help from mama. And so if you are a single mom, and you are discouraged and despairing and wondering, will this ever be a reality? I want to tell you that I see you, and I want you to know that it is possible, that you can do it, and I truly can be a reality. As a single mom myself, this is a challenge that I face on a day-to-day basis, and this is what has really helped me, which is what I'm about to share with you now. And that's the idea of detaching yourself from the concept of a perfect routine or a perfect system, because all these other business people we find online that tell us to build systems, things that work, many of them have a different structure of relationship or a different life structure. They have partners that probably work with them on the business, or at least somebody they can lean on, someone they can talk to, someone that can support them so that they devote their time to building their businesses. But for you and I, the case is different. And so we have to approach things from a totally different point of view. And so while it is good to have morning routine and to have a system, you have to also be flexible enough to understand that life may not always work out the way we want it to work, because we don't have the support that we need. Nobody can do this alone. It's difficult. Life is difficult already as it is. And then building a business on top of that it takes it to a totally new, to a new level. And so understanding this would free you a little to say, okay, I'm going to do my best, set up a system, set up a routine. But if it doesn't work out, no problem. There is no need to get discouraged. What you're going to say is, all right, I'm able to move things around. Maybe I was supposed to work in the morning, but it's not working out now in the morning. I can get a few hours in the evening. And if I can't get it in the evening, maybe if I just stick to my routine, go to bed on time, I can wake up earlier and try to get it in tomorrow. If I can't do it today, I can do it tomorrow. You're putting in your best, but you're also flexible enough to understand that the life that you have right now, things will not always be perfect. I remember when I was trying to learn Swedish, because I live in Sweden, and that was the time I was having a problem. When my problem with my ex-husband started, and I didn't have any support. He refused to help me look after the baby. I just didn't have any extra time on my hands to be able to learn the language. And I needed it to be able to integrate in the society, to come in and get a job and all of that. So what I did was, I watched TV when I can. I learned new words, picked words here and there, and wrote all those words down on a notebook. So I carried my notebook with me wherever I went. So when I was in the bus, I was reading and learning these words, waiting for the doctor, whatever extra time I had, I did it. And just using that system alone helped me to learn the language within 1 year while I was looking after my baby. So by the time I got into the language school, after I was able to put my baby in daycare, because in Sweden, when your child is 1 year old, then you can put them in daycare. So I was able to put my baby in daycare, and I had time to go to school. So when I got to school, that was when I realized how much work I had been able to get in. Within that 1 year I was at home, I actually didn't realize how much work I had done. And so that kind of sped up my time in school, so that it took me about half the time that usually takes people, just a couple of months. And I was done, fluent in the language, was able to get into an internship, get my first job, and on like that. So the point of this story being that even if you don't have the perfect routine, you don't have the perfect system, detach yourself from that idea of having the perfect routine or system. It doesn't really matter. You can get so much done in the little blocks of time that pop out during your day. All it takes is awareness, understanding, okay, I might not be able to get in the 3 hours I planned for today, but I am aware that this is what I need to do. So you are planned, you are ready. So that immediately you get a block of 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 15 minutes, you do one tiny thing. By the time you do tiny thing here, another tiny thing there, another tiny thing there, you'll be surprised that at the end of the day, you've gotten so much work done. So many times we say we don't have the time, which we don't have. But if we look through our day and see how we've been using our time, you find out that there's so much time that has gone into looking at Facebook, X, YouTube, and all of that. And I understand that, because for me, sometimes it's not so much that I don't have time as it is that I am tired. I've been standing all day. I've been, up and about all day. And so even when I get that 1 hour, I want to relax. You know what I mean? However, I notice that on the days when I have taken time to write out the things that I need to accomplish, when I am clear on the goals that I want to achieve, when I have those blocks of time, I'm able to put them into good use. So those times when I waste my time browsing on Facebook or on X, it's usually because I'm not clear. I know I have things to do, but I'm not clear exactly what it is that I want to do. So my encouragement for you today is detach yourself from the idea of it has to be this way for it to work. It doesn't have to be any way. It can work anyway. All you need is to be clear on what you want to achieve. Write it down so that as these blocks of time pop out in your day, if you get 15 minutes, look through your list and see what is it that I can accomplish within these 15 minutes and pop it in there. If you get 30 minutes, look through your list and see what can I accomplish within 30 minutes and pop it in there. That is the way to go. Because what is the other option? We sit down, fold our hands and cry, pity me. It doesn't get us anywhere. Nobody's coming to save us. You already know that. So this journey is our own, and with God on our side, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. Another thing I want to remind you of is that this is your life, both your life as a mom taking care of your kids, your life as a business owner trying to build a business, or a new entrepreneur. All of them are your life. Is that correct grammar? Yeah, I think so. So it's your life. Together, it's all your life. So don't feel resentful that you're not able to build your business because you're taking care of your kids. Because I have gone through that myself when I'm like, oh, this should not be my life. I have dreams. I have things I want to do, as though these things I'm doing are not important. Your calling as a mom is one of the most important calling in your life. So you don't need to get resentful. You don't need to get upset when you're not able to do the other thing, the other part of your calling, building your business or doing whatever it is that, is heavy on your heart that you feel like I need to do this. You don't need to get resentful. Both of them belong to you, and both of them are equally important. So what we need to do is to find a way to make it work. We need to find a way to make it work. So as you live your life as a mom, give it your best, smile, be there, be present for your children. Remember that God is your provider. He has called you to whatever it is He has placed in your heart. He will provide what is needed. He will provide what is needed for you to take care of your children. He will provide a way out for you to find the resources that you need. Excuse me more. to find the resources that you need to build the business that he has placed in your heart to build. Let's not build like the people of this world that feel like everything is dependent on them. As God's children, we lean on Jesus, we lean on God, to lead us, to show us the way, to provide for us. So you don't need to stress. You need to work hard. You need to do your best. You need to wake up every day, learn from your mistake, correct it, do better today than you did yesterday. But your confidence as a mother, as a single mother who is doing it alone with God, has to be on God, not on yourself. So it doesn't matter if it's taking other people 1 year. If it's going to take you 3 years, that's okay. That's fine. You're going to live your life in peace and do things in peace and have joy and contentment in your life. So you don't need to struggle and worry too much about everybody's getting it done. I can't get it done. I don't think this will ever happen for me. It will happen for you in his own time. What you're doing is important. The project that you have on your hand as a mother, raising wonderful children that fear the Lord, that will be good citizens, that will bring contribution to this world, is very important. And it's also very important to do that thing that God has placed in your heart, the ministry, the project, the business. That also is important. So we're going to find a way to make both of them work without losing our mind or our peace, So that's my message for you today. Be encouraged. God is your Father. God is your provider. Detach yourself completely from the idea of a perfect routine or a perfect system. It does not exist for us. We make it work. We are resilient. We are resourceful. So whatever you have, it's enough. It's the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish. That is what you have. You give it to God and we make it work. And remember, God is your provider. So you make it work, you do the best you can, and don't lose your peace. All right, guys, I have to go. I'm getting frostbites, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Love you. Mwah.